Good morning, students. Let us start the next chapter, the new chapter that is heat. All of us are familiar with the sensation of hot and cool. On a hot summer day, we find it uncomfortable to walk on a cemented floor without a shoe or a sleeper. As it is too hot during winter months, we will find that the floor as being too cold. That means we are familiar with the sensation of hot and cold, and we express the hotness or coldness of the body through its temperature. If the temperature of a body is high or more, then we said that it is hotter. And if the temperature is low, we say that it is cold. We know from our daily experiences that a bottle of ice cold milk left on a table on a hot summer day soon warms up. A glass tumbler of boiling hot milk kept on the same table cools down after a while. It shows that when the temperature of a body and its surroundings are different, there is a transfer of energy between the body and its surroundings. This transfer continues till the body and its surroundings attain the same temperature. In the case of ice cold milk bottle, heat flows from the surroundings to the bottle, and in the case of boiling hot milk tumbler, it flows from the glass tumbler to the surroundings. Based on such experience, we say that heat is a form of energy that is transferred from one body to another due to the existence of a temperature difference between them. Once again, we can say that heat is a form of energy which is transferred from one body to another due to the existence of temperature difference between them. And transfer of heat always takes place from the body of a higher temperature to that of a lower temperature. That means the transfer of heat energy always takes from the body of a higher temperature to that of a lower temperature. In early days, heat was considered as a fluid that flowed from a hotter body to a colder body. This fluid was called the calorific. This theory was so be, shown to be incorrect by the experiments of physicists like Davy, Counterford, and Joule, who showed that heat is just a form of energy. Now, heat and temperature. We often observe that when we heat a body, its temperature rises. That means when we increase the heat, its temperature rises. This indicates that heat and temperature are related to each other. Heat is the energy of a body that is due to the motion of its constituents particles, and temperature is just an indicator of this energy. Even a cold object possesses heat energy due to the motion of its particles. When we add or remove heat to a body, motion of its molecules become faster or maybe slower. So, students, the next thing is effects of heat. When a body is heated, various types of physical and chemical changes are observed to take place. Now we will discuss about all these changes. The first one is physical changes. In this, there is a change in temperature. When we add or remove heat to a body or from a body, the body brings about a change in its temperature. That means addition of heat to a body raises its temperature, and removal of heat from the body usually lowers its temperature. That means addition of heat increases the temperature, and removal of heat generally lowers the temperature, decreases the temperature. The next one is change of state. Under appropriate conditions, addition or removal of heat to or from a body can also bring about a change in its state. For example, when we put a tray of water, when water is in liquid state in the freezer compartment of a refrigerator, the water freezes to form ice. Ice is the solid state of water. Similarly, when water is heated over a flame, it starts boiling and gets converted into steam. Steam, as we know that, it is the gaseous state of water. That means with increase or decrease in temperature, or with addition or removal of heat, there is a change in the state of matter. The next is thermal expansion. Most of the solids, liquids and gases are known to be expand on heating, and this phenomenon is called thermal expansion. That means expansion of matters on heating is known as thermal expansion, and we use this process in different functions. For example, the metal rim to be put on a cart wheel is designed to have a smaller diameter than that of the wheel. When this rim is heated, it becomes red hot, expands, and slips onto the wheel easily. When it is cooled, it contracts and grips the wheel firmly. The second one is, you have seen the gap between the railway tracks. The gaps are left because if there is the expansion of tracks due to increase in temperature, the tracks do not overlap on each other, and it protects from accidents. The next change is chemical changes. Many chemical changes take place only when the reactants are heated up. For example, we can prepare oxygen in the laboratory by heating potassium chlorate over a flame. That means there are so many reactions in which we require heat. So, these are the effects of heat, and there is an interesting information given in your book, that is, ice and cast iron are two of the few solids that contract on heating. As we earlier studied that all the matters generally expand on heating, but cast iron and ice, these are the two solids which contract on heating. Cold water at 4 degrees Celsius is known to expand on cooling. This special property of water helps us to understand why water pipes sometimes burst at very cold places, and a soft drink glass bottle often cracks when left in the freezer compartment for a long time. It is also linked with the survival of aquatic animals even at places where the atmospheric temperature goes down well below 0 degrees Celsius. And these are the exceptions. Ice and cast iron, these contract on heating and expand on cooling. So students, that's all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.